Hey everybody. So, the title of this video can be a little provocative for some, because I know how some people are about their calibers. I'm sort of the same way. So, title of this is 10 millimeters, 10 millimeter the best self-defense caliber? And for a lot of people, I would say, absolutely. Here's my rationale why I kind of came to this. Now, 9 millimeter is totally capable, very, very popular round. But I'm kind of approaching this as someone who has the misfortune of living in a blue state that recently passed mag bans. Well, mags over 10 rounds. So I'm limited to 10 rounds. Now, I can understand someone wanting to carry 17 or 20 round magazine with 9 millimeter. Seems like a good plan. Or some people like 5.7 rounds that have 30 rounds of 5.7. I can understand that. I can understand wanting to carry 15 to 17 rounds of 40 Smith & Wesson, which for the remainder of this video, since it's a 10 millimeter video, we will refer to as 40 slow and weak. But I digress. I think if you have the misfortune of living in a blue state, I think it's really hard to beat 10 millimeter. Because if you're going to follow the law, which I do because I don't like the idea of prison. But anyway, if you're going to follow the law, you can only have 10 rounds. My thing is, if you can carry up to 10 rounds, carry 10 rounds. Have the most you can carry. But on the flip side, I'd also make it the most powerful that I could carry. Now, I know that there are rounds that are more powerful than 10 millimeter. You can, a lot of 357 rounds can get a lot harder than a lot of 10 millimeter rounds. Now, right here, I have Underwood Ammo. Underwood Ammo makes some awesome 10 millimeter rounds. And if you look at their website and then you go to, foot-pounds calculator, a lot of them get like 700 to 720 or 30 foot-pounds of energy. Your typical 9 millimeter is going to be around 380, 390. So they're pretty potent, probably about 80 or 90% higher foot-pounds of energy than 9 millimeter. So definitely pretty powerful. Now you could kind of go a little crazy and say, well, you can get a semi-automatic Desert Eagle. You are absolutely right. And if my memory is not mistaken, they only carry about 7 or 8 rounds. And are you going to want to carry a Desert Eagle with you? That's the other thing. So you're still trading down. You got 7 or 8 rounds, and there you go. Now, you could also argue correctly that 44 Magnum, 357 have more power. They're going to be in a revolver. If it's a 44 Magnum, maybe you can get 6 rounds. 357 Magnum, you might be able to get one that's a 7-round revolver. I don't recall seeing any with more than 7 rounds, and even that, most don't have 7, they only have 6. So again, you're trading down rounds. Also, because of the profile of a revolver, it's not as compact. And keep in mind, this is coming from a guy who loves revolvers. The other thing is, with a lot of 357s, either they're going to be a little on the larger side if they're full size, and then if you get the little snub nose, those things are kind of a pain in the neck to shoot. Okay, especially, let me put it this way: if you get a snub nose 357, which is defeating the purpose because you're only going to have 5 rounds, they're really a pain to shoot. If you're shooting one of the ones that's kind of made to cut weight. Okay, I'll give you an example. I have a Taurus polymer, I forget what they call the freaking thing, but it's a 357. This thing is punishing. It is the most painful gun I have to shoot. 38 special, it's fine. 357, it feels like someone's smacking your hand with a hammer. Now, I've heard people make the argument that, well, if your life depends on it, what does it matter? And you are absolutely right. Who cares how painful it is if it's going to preserve your life? The caveat there is you should always practice with your carry gun. Are you going to want to put hundreds and hundreds of rounds through that thing? I really don't want to. Now, personally, I tend to carry smaller handguns. A lot of times I'll carry a 22. I always say that. But if I wanted, for some reason, to carry the most powerful handgun that made sense, this is my choice. This is for those of you who are not familiar with this. I do have a video on this gun. This is the Glock 29. Let me tell you why I love this particular gun, especially over the Glock 20. And I'm going to apply this to both the unlucky people in the blue states and the lucky people in the red states. Now, this is a pretty thick gun for a because this is considered compact, which I really don't consider it too compact. It's certainly compact compared to the Glock 20, but not so much. I mean, as far as being light, it's got some weight to it and whatnot. But why I like this a lot is it has about a 3.5-inch barrel, so it's not full size by any means. It has a small grip. Now you put the now I personally have a 10-round magazine, and then I have kind of like the bottom of the magazine with the little pinky shelf. So this fits my whole hand on it. It's pretty comfortable. If you wanted a full-size grip, well, guess what you can do? You just buy a 15. If you're in a state where you still have your rights, you just buy a 15-round magazine, and there are these adapters. And I apologize for not remembering the name, but they have these adapters that you can pop over a 15-round 10mm Glock mag, and it seamlessly makes this look and feel just like a full-size magazine. It comes right down to here. Super comfortable to shoot. It actually, now I've never shot a Glock 20, just the 29. It actually looks more comfortable because it has a bit of a palm swell in the back. Really, really nice. Those adapters cost maybe $10. You put it on the 15-round magazine, maybe about $25, unless you're like me and you get them. Well, I got them used for like $15 or $12. I don't know, it was pretty cheap. Now mine are sitting in another state someplace. I hate liberal politicians. But anyway, this is a tough gun to beat between the size, and then you can make it full size even by putting, say, a 10mm full size magazine in there. You can still make it full size if you want to, and then you're shooting something like this. Think about this. You have 10 rounds, each one over 700 foot-pounds of energy. It's kind of hard to beat that firepower. 9mm if you're limited to 10 rounds. You got 10 rounds, you get about 380, 390 foot-pounds of energy. Now, of course, this is assuming that you can shoot 9mm and 10mm equally as well. I think most of us probably can. And I know that this has a reputation for being difficult to shoot. I have to tell you, I don't find it that way. I really don't. I can actually shoot this better than like a little tiny 380. If you give me a 380 and you said, okay, let's have a contest to see who can shoot better, I'm not going to win with that 380. I just find it very, very awkward and uncomfortable to shoot little tiny subcompact 380s. And I've tried various ones. I've complained about them in the past. This thing, I think because it's got some decent weight to it, I shoot this pretty well. I would say I shoot this as well as I shoot a 9mm. Now, these rounds cost more. This particular one let's see, I think it was $26 for 20 rounds. So we're looking at about $1.30 per round. But a lot of times you'll pay extra money for carry ammo anyway, whether you're talking 10mm, 9mm, or 45. The practice ammo is a little bit more too. I mean, I'm starting to see 9mm come back to like 22, 23 cents a round, which is really nice. The 10mm, I'm still seeing it around 45 to 50 cents. Hopefully you guys are seeing better prices than I am, but so it is more money. But for those of you who are shooting 45, let's say, it's really about in the same ballpark as that. And like I said, you get a lot for your money. So if you are living in a blue state, I don't think you can do better than 10 rounds of 10mm. There's really nothing out there, to be honest with you. Even if you get, like, I know some of you hate 40 Smith & Wesson, but if you get 40 Smith & Wesson, 10 rounds of it, you're still probably, it's plus P, let's assume it's plus P, you're still like a couple hundred foot-pounds shy of this. Definitely something to consider. So if you have a 10mm and you don't like to carry it too much, kind of dust it off, take a look at it, and maybe try some like Underwood ammo or Buffalo Bore or something, because it's really some potent semi-auto handgun rounds, and you get so much in the small package. If you are looking for a pretty cool 10 millimeter, this one is really hard to beat. These go for about $580 or $590. I've seen them in various places. And like I said in my old video, I bought this for about $590. And the reason why I did is because the person had already put like the little floor plates with the little pinky shelf on them. They had put a tungsten guide rod in. They upgraded the sights. And it came with a second 10 millimeter barrel that was compensated. So it's not bad. I ended up getting a second barrel that was compensated. You know, the upgraded magazines, the tungsten guide rod, and the upgraded sights. And while it was used, it really didn't look like it was used very much. So I ended up getting some pretty nifty add-ins. And once again, I just want to tell you, I think this is the way to go if you're limited in magazine capacity. If you're not limited in magazine capacity, I'd really suggest putting the 15 round in here and have fun. America. Alright guys, I'll talk to you later. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, because I use that as a way to gauge what everyone likes and what everyone doesn't like. I'd appreciate it. Talk to you later.